Nights and Weekends, Season 5, Week 1. What is buildspace? Buildspace hosts nights and weekends every year, and it's basically a 6-week program where people get together and build anything that they want to build. It can range from music and film to software and coding, really just anything you can dream of. The challenge is to build your idea on your own in 6 weeks and to see where it takes you. Maybe just like this. Also, this was a camera when I was small. That's what I imagined it to be. Okay. I am going to be doing a weekly update on here on my YouTube channel every week for the following 6 weeks. And basically I'm just going to be discussing my progress for the week, as well as, you know, all the other relevant information for that week, but I'll also be filling you in on what I plan to do the upcoming week, as well as any challenges that I see myself facing. And my reasons for doing this is basically twofold. One, if you are currently doing the Nights and Weekends challenge, or perhaps you're watching this video somewhere in the future and you're doing this same challenge, then I hope that my journey could encourage you or inspire you or just help you if you need some advice or just some guidelines or something. And then the second reason is I want to document my journey, because this is the first time I'm going to be actually making a short film. I made a short film when I was 12 with my friends, but that was very, very bad. I did not do close-ups. I just filmed from a distance, filmed everybody from a distance, and had them say their lines. Yeah, it was bad. I wish I had the footage though. I lost it, sadly, but I wish I had it, even though it was terrible. I'm sure I would be rolling on the floor laughing. But yeah, anyways. Okay, week 1 is all about finding an idea and then committing to that idea. And I originally planned on writing a screenplay, but after the lecture on Tuesday evening, I just realized that a screenplay would not, I don't know. A screenplay is great, and I mean, you can do anything for Nights and Weekends, but I just thought that a short film will have more substance for me to show people, and it will provide me with a much greater challenge than a screenplay, because I mean, like, just realistically, if you weigh a screenplay versus a short film, yeah. The screenplay's potential, the short film is like the product, like, yeah. I'm sure you get what I'm talking about. Okay, so something I want to mention here is how I finally decided on writing a short film was I started thinking about a question that Farza posed in the lecture, and he asked, like, what are you passionate about? And then I thought, okay, what do I like, you know, what do I see myself doing permanently if this like kicks off? And I do see myself writing screenplays, but I also see myself involved in film production, whether that be acting or directing or producing. Yeah, like, I think cinematography is pretty cool too, and that obviously makes or breaks the film. Well, a lot of things make or break a film, but if I look at the key areas that I'm interested in long term, it's screenwriting, acting, directing, producing. Yeah, basically that. And yeah, that helped me unlock the idea of writing and making a short film. So that's like the first bit of progress for week 1 is that I decided to write a short film. Now the second thing is, what did I decide to write a short film about? Basically just a short film about perfectionism. Sorry, these videos are going to be like unfiltered because I don't think I'm going to have a lot of time to edit them. So I'm trying my best to not stumble over my words, but it's bound to happen. And yeah, that's why I like the idea that I have for the short film so much, because it's going to constantly remind me that you're gonna strive for excellence, but it's not gonna be perfect technically. It's going to be a work in progress and a very fun challenge. I think that's, oh yeah, so it's going to be a short film about perfectionism, and more specifically it's going to be about a film student who is struggling to find the perfect story for a project that she's working on, and then a conversation or maybe something else, but at this point in time I'm pretty sure it's going to be a conversation with somebody that's just going to make her realize, oh, that's what I've been missing. And then, you know, the conclusion. Yeah, that brings me to week 2, my plans for week 2. Basically it's learning how to use the screenwriting software. Sorry, I dropped my pen. Learning how to use my screenwriting software, because I do have screenwriting software and I just have not actually learned how to use it, because I got it when I had already started university, and I'm actually at the end of my summer semester because I'm taking summer classes. So we're still juggling that for another week, another 2 weeks kind of, but I worked ahead. So the one subject I'm going to conclude next week, this coming week, in week 2 of like nights and weekends, and then the other one will finish in week 3. So I have to juggle university classes and courses with Sophia Learning with writing and producing a short film. But I guess that's what makes it even more fun. Okay, so once I've learned how to use the screenwriting software, I'm going to really flesh out the story, because I have the introduction, I have the conclusion, and I have the aha moment, but I have to work out what the details are going to be in between. And I'm going to really have to figure that out, because obviously my resources are limited. And yeah, I'm gonna have to be very creative in how I structure the story when it comes to settings and just the storyline and characters, etc., etc. Yeah, so I think the challenges basically for week 2 will be the screenwriting software, which I don't think is going to be that much of a challenge. I think more so the overall writing aspect is going to be the larger challenge, but nothing's impossible. So I'm sure I'll have it figured out by week 2. To wrap it up, I have a few key principles / lessons that I just thought I'd add. Basically, keep it simple. Keep your ideas simple, because narrowing it down is really going to help you to focus on it and just to provide a better product or result at the end of the day. So keep it simple, be creative, and remember that problems are obstacles, not dead ends. I'll see you guys next week. Hello everybody, it's Sunday and I just got some feedback from one of my friends. By Friday night, and just for context, what you just saw in the video was filmed on Friday. By Friday night, I was still not sure how I'm going to bridge the gap between the introduction and the climax of the story. And then Saturday, I found a way to do it. But I only figured that out after I had sent a voice note to one of my friends asking for her feedback on it. And then I sent the second version as well. And she liked it, but she also suggested another way in which I could still focus on the topic of perfectionism, but just tell it in a way that's going to combine the two different things, which, okay, I'm just going to mention it. The one thing is like storytelling, and the second thing is dance. When I posted the change that I was going to make to the story yesternight, it would have incorporated dance. And it's still going to incorporate dance, storytelling, perfectionism. It's just going to be told with some differing details. So I'm going to be posting that board, and I know there are going to be some people who are going to ask, like, why did you change it? To answer that very briefly, this is a very normal process of writing a story. I have some other ideas for screenplays as well, and I've been sitting on some of them for a long time, thinking about them in my head, and it just naturally changes as you start thinking about the story, about the characters, about how they interact with each other, about how things are going to make sense realistically. Okay, with that said, on to the next clip. So I literally just wrote the first sentence, and then I started thinking about the why behind the character's need for perfection. And then I realized this second story has a lot of potential for me to incorporate lessons that I learned, because I was a gymnast for 10 years. So this is really something that I went through and that I had really only in the past year overcome. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I can incorporate into the second story more fluently, if that's not the right word, but more fluently than in the first idea. And I think it will just come together more naturally and make sense more easily than the things that would have gone into the first idea. I'm quickly going to finish writing the main points for the second story, but y'all, I think I'm going to change the story a second time. So, yeah. I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, we finally have the finalized idea. I'm going to be making a short film about a dancer/influencer who has to balance her content creation with her dance journey in light of an upcoming exam that could make or break her career. So, stay tuned for next week, and yeah, until then, subscribe.